Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. This is the third episode of the narrative campaign. If you haven't seen the other episodes, I recommend you to see those first. You can find them in the recommended videos. Today, Adepta Sororitas faces the Tyranids. I'm Simone and I'll play the sisters.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I play the Tyranids. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Before we begin, I would like to tell you that the sisters are some of the miniatures that we have added to our channel thanks to donations from the community. I would like to thank all of those who have decided to support us also financially through the platform Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you very much, it means a lot to us. And now, let's get back to the game. By order of Inquisitor Kane, a key team of Sisters of Battle traveled to the planet Vereza to keep an eye on the Tyranid fleet. The Xenos have invaded that world and are preparing to head to the next planet on their way, Esperia. The Sisters' job is to position themselves at a high point and assess the size of the Tyranid forces before returning to Esperia to report. But something is not going as planned. The Tyranids sense them. Today's mission is Reconnoiter. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. In this game, there are no objectives but recon points. On each of these 4 buildings, operatives will be able to perform the action Recon Vantage Point and earn victory points.
Each building gives different victory points based on how far they are from the drop zone. The nearest building is 0 points, the second 1 point, the third 2, and the last 3 victory points. Same thing in a mirror way for the other team. There will also be 3 secondary objectives each that will award points. The player with the most victory points is the winner. The game will last 4 turns. Both armies start with 2 common points, earning 1 point at the start of each round.
Novitiate Superior Agatha led the sisters to the high ground from where it was possible to observe the moves of the Tyranids without being seen. Perhaps the senses of those monsters are more acute than she had imagined because now a scout unit has found them and the only option left is to face the Tyranids. Completing the mission is too important. The Adepta Sororitas kill team is made up of 10 Novitiate operatives. Leading the team, Novitiate Superior Agatha, armed with plasma pistol and power weapon. The other team members are a Novitiate Dialogus and an Exactor to keep the others in line. A Penitent, a model that can never be missing in a good team, together with a Duelist. A Novitiate Hospitaller to take care of the sisters, a Pronatus to inspire them, and a Reliquarius to keep their spirits up. Then a Purgatus to warm the atmosphere a little, and a Novitiate Condemner to send the Emperor's greetings to the enemies. The Spec Ops chosen for this kill team, the first mission they will have to follow during the campaign, is Recover Archutech, the first operation of which is to complete 5 games where they scored victory points from the TAC Op Seize Ground or Vantage. The kill team start the campaign with 4 acquisition points to use in upgrades. I spent 2 points on equipment drop, assigning an Auto Chastier and an Icon of Fate to the Novitiate Superior, a Chaplet Ecclesiasticus and an Adamant Weaver Supplice to the Hospitaller, 1 Sainted Reliquie for the Duelist and another Auto Chastier for the Purgatus. Then I spent another acquisition point on Asset Acquired and chose Tactical Uplink to expand my base of operation. This will allow me to use a Tactical Ploy without spending any CPs once per turn.
While they were devouring everything organic in their path, my Tyranids met a bunch of sisters hiding on a hill near their location. Obviously, the first thing my Tyranid thought was food, so they rushed to go and eat them. My kill team consists of 1 Tyranid Warrior Fire team and a Tyranid Swarm Fire team. The Tyranid Warrior Fire team is composed by a Tyranid Warrior Heavy Gunner operative armed with Venom Cannon and Bone Swords, 1 Tyranid Warrior Fighter and a Tyranid Warrior Leader, both equipped with Bone Sword and Lash Whip and Bone Swords, just to give them the additional attack. Then we have the Lunigaunt's Fire team, formed by 8 fierce Harmagounts armed with Sighting Talons and ready to slice some nuns. The Spec Op chosen for this kill team is Purge Order, the first operation of which is to complete 5 games where I scored victory points from the TAC Ops Deadly Marksman, Rob and Ransack, and or Execution. With 4 acquisition points at disposal, I spent 1 point on Asset Acquired and chose Tactical Uplink, giving me the possibility to use 1 Tactical Ploy for free once per turning point. Then I spent 2 more points on Equipment Drop, giving both my Warrior Fighter and Warrior Leader Feeder Tendrils and Toxin Sacks, plus, just to the Fighter, Acid Move for a total of 10 equipment points.
I have deployed the sisters so that I have more models on the side of the battlefield with more buildings where I can do the action. The Sister Superior is ready to lead the others into the fray. The Exactor is positioned next to the Penitent to be able to enhance her with the ability Whip into Frenzy, while the Hospitaller will make sure they all stay alive. On the right side instead, there are 4 sisters including the Purgatus and the Duelist, who will have to defend the building that would give more victory points to Andrea in case he manages to conquer it. In addition, the Novitiate Condemnor is on a vantage position, and with the Conceal Order she is ready to fire on the Tyranids.
On the left side, I have deployed 2 Tyranid warriors who will aim to capture the building in front of them, and 2 Harmagans that will be used mainly for the mission action. On the other side, however, I position the gunner above the building in order to ignore the Conceal Order of the enemy models who will try to approach my structure. And as a protection, I have deployed the 6 remaining Harmagans in order to slow down the advance of the sisters.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Each of us chooses a number of dice equal to the corresponding number of the choice. 1 for Fortify, 2 for Infiltrate and 3 for Recon. Red dice for the Tyranids and grey dice for the sisters. We both chose Recon.
As the defender, I move first, and since Spike, my gunner, has a weapon with the heavy characteristic, I use the Scouting Phases dash to better position him and allow him to shoot when activated.
I was planning to move another sister, but Andrea's movement has endangered Sister Agatha, so I have to move her in cover behind the wall.
Given the tie in the scouting phase, the attacker decides who has the initiative. Simone chose to let me start, so I begin the strategy phase by spending 1 command point for the tactical ploy stock, which allows me to make a free movement with an agent. The brave Tweety then goes up to the building waiting to be activated. Now, since Simone doesn't use ploys, I reveal the tack op Vantage.
Like Andrea, I also revealed the Tac Op Vantage, which allows my sisters to perform an action on the buildings to earn additional victory points. I need this mission for the spec op I have chosen. In addition, the sisters get 3 fate points at the start of each round, which I can use to activate additional bonus effects.
The second tac op I reveal is Retrieval. Simone has to place a marker on the ground that I need to control to get victory points.
Having the possibility to place the marker, I choose to place it in an open spot and close to where most of my sisters are located. Andrea will not be able to get there easily.
The first agent to activate is Tweety, who opens the game by making the action of the tac op Vantage, thus giving me 1 victory point. Then Jerry is activated, who also positions himself on the building and then performs the mission action Recon Vantage Point, also earning me 1 victory point, reaching a total of 2 points.
The first to activate is Sister Arianna, the Condemnor. With a normal movement, she positions herself near the window and then points the stake thrower at the first Harmagant who catches her attention, having him in full view thanks to the higher position. 4 shots at 3+ on him. 2 hit! With the free ploy of this turn, I use Righteous Condemnation, thanks to which I can reroll fate dice. All hit, including 1 critical.
That critical has -1 penetration, so I only save with 2 dice at 6. Double 1. With 11 wounds suffered, including 2 mortal, I really think Duffy Gaunt has to leave us. Given how ended this partner, Roadrunner uses movement and dash to position himself in cover in the building. Tuds then approaches Spike, trying not to block his way in case he needs to move.
Sister Sibylla, the Dialogus, approaches the Sister Superior and then, thanks to her ability, she gives Agatha an additional APL.
The next to activate are Tom and Honeygaunt, who with movement and dash go to position themselves behind the giant tentacle and hide, so as not to be seen by the nuns.
Using movement and dash, Superior Agatha climbs the tower, struggling to climb the pole. Arrived at the top, with the last APL donated by the Dialogus, Agatha performs the action Recon Vantage Point, gaining 1 victory point.
Kenny, my leader, uses movement and dash and hides under the building waiting for action.
Sister Diana, the Hospitaller, has an item that could give her an additional APL each turn, but for the moment I don't need it. Diana moves forward and reads the poster attached to the wall.
It's Bugs Gaunt's turn, who moves and dashes to the center of the map without worrying about being seen.
Sister Victoria, the Exactor, uses her whip and blesses the Pronatus, giving her an additional APL. Then, satisfied, she moves alongside the steps, remaining covered by the Tyrannic Gunner who is holding all my sisters in check.
Little John, like the leader before him, uses movement and dash to sneak under the building and get close to the enemies while staying hidden.
Sister Yelena, the Pronatus, moves and positions herself on the stairs of the tower. Arrived at a high point thanks to the additional APL given to her by Victoria, she performs the action of the Tac Op Vantage, earning my 2nd victory point.
Sadly, Spike has no line of sight on anyone, so he just has to pass, hoping to be able to shoot Overwatch later.
Sister Regina, the Reliquarius, uses movement and dash to reach her companion upstairs. Sister Benedetta, the Duelist, moves forward, reaching the window. Sister Lena, the Purgatus, moves to have a good line of sight. Last but not least, Nevia, the Penitent, joins her companions and watches the ongoing discussion about that strange poster.
Okay, the first round went great. We are tied in victory points, I only lost one Hormagaunt, but my gunner was unable to fire a single shot. Let's hope the second round is a little more interesting. Anyway, I absolutely have to find a way to get the marker of the tag over retrieval and escape unarmed. I don't know how convenient it can be to start again first. On the contrary, I would have preferred to start this round second as well. But oh well, let's see what the dice say.
The first round was quite fast and without too many major events. Andreas' gunner placed on the building is extremely dangerous, and if I expose even just one sister, he could easily kill her. I can't allow that, so I just got to earn the victory points of the secondary objective and the mission. For the moment we are in a tie situation. I have the feeling that things will change in the next round.
Rolling for initiative.
Yeah, right. You got the initiative.
Yay! Just when I needed to start second.
At the beginning of the round, I used the strategic ploy Eyes of the Emperor, which allows me to remove the range special rule from auto pistols and plasma pistols. Then I reveal the tag of Overrun. If at the end of the turn I have a model in every quarter of the table, I earn 1 victory point.
Bugs Gaunt spots his prey and quickly charges the nun on the stairs. Then he makes 4 attacks at 4+. Rerolling all failed dice. Just 1 critical and 1 normal hit.
The Pronatus responds with 3 attacks at 4+. I use 1 fate point to reroll a dice, 3 successful attacks.
With the critical, I inflict 5 wounds.
Yelena parries an attack from the Hormagaunt and inflicts 6 wounds with the remaining 2 dice.
1 wound remaining and injured. It didn't really go well, Doc.
Yelena is in pain, but she's still alive, with 2 wounds.
The second Hormagaunt to activate is Tweety, who goes to the window to check the situation, and then does the action of the mission, Recon Vantage Point, earning 1 victory point.
Sister Arianna moves to the other window and after spotting another Hormagaunt opens fire on him despite the conceal order thanks to the special rule Silent, 4 shots at 3+. I use the free ploy of this round for Righteous Condemnation, to reroll a dice for the Condemnor. All hit!
3 dice to defend on 6. Just 1. With 6 wounds, Honeygaunt is injured but still alive. After taking damage, Honeygaunt realizes that she must hide, and being within range of the gunner's synapse ability, she can move without the penalty of the injury. She then moves under the tower. Then, Jerry jumps off the building and hides behind the Tyrannid thing.
Regina changes the order in Engage and opens fire on the Tyrannid warrior who forces the sisters to stay hidden. 4 shots at 3+. All hit! Nice aim!
Without penetration, Spike saves with 3 dice at 4+. 2 shots saved. 14 wounds remaining.
To avoid retaliation, the Reliquarius moves to the other window where the gunner cannot see her.
Roadrunner uses movement and dash to get near the tower stairs and hide, while Taz takes his friend's place under the building.
Sibilla moves under the stairs to have the Pronatus inside, then she uses her ability to give Yelena 1 additional APL.
The last Hormagaunt to move is Tom, who joins his companions at the tower and sits down waiting.
Yelena continues the fight with the Hormagaunt, making 3 attacks at 5+ due to the injury. Having failed all hits, I use 2 fate points to activate Guiding Light and transform one of the failed hits into a successful one. This is enough to kill the Hormagaunt.
What's up, Doc? Why are you leaving?
Happy to have survived and extremely grateful to the Emperor for the miracle that just happened, Yelena raises the relic towards the sky and recites a prayer, gaining 2 additional fate points. Then, with the last action given to her by the Dialogus, she does the action of the mission and earns 1 victory point.
Little John takes the initiative and moves forward in range to fire the acid maw, making 4 attacks at 2 on the Purgatus. All hit.
1 dice saves automatically thanks to the cover, while the other 2 need 4+ to save. 3 shots saved! Covered in acid, she has only 4 wounds left. Lena, angry for the acid that ruined her dress, ignites the flame of the flamethrower and tries to roast the Tyrannid. I use 1 command point for the tactical ploy Burning Wrath by enhancing the damage of her weapon. 5 shots at 2+ on the warrior. Rerolling the 1 thanks to the item Auto Chestier. And of course, another 1.
3 dice to save at 4, just 2.
Due to the double 1, Lena suffers a wound. Then, to avoid a possible warrior overwatch, she steps away from the window.
With a few flames still burning on his carapace, Little John is left with 12 wounds. I use the free tactical ploy Will of the Hive Mind at my disposal to give my leader an additional APL. Then, seeing his partner burn, Kenny decides to move and dash to whip some sisters. Arriving in front of the building, he targets the duelist by throwing 4 lashes at 2, hitting 2 crits and a normal hit.
I defend with 2 dice at 4 plus an automatic 1 for the cover. Rerolling the dice with a command point, I use another 2 fate points for Armor of Contempt to transform a successful dice into a critical defense. Sister Benedetta is left with 3 wounds and is injured. Also, due to the stun, she loses 1 APL. Sister Agatha manages to spot the Tyranid warriors. After changing the order in engage, she points the plasma pistol at the fighter and makes 4 overcharged shots at 2+. Rerolling 1 thanks to the item Auto Chestier. All hit including 1 critical! With -2 penetration and 21 total wounds, Andrea can save him.
What? How? Cheat mode activated?
No, just a plasma pistol overcharged.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, Little John.
Satisfied with her shot, the Novitiate Superior moves away from the barrier to hide from the gunner, who is forced to pass the turn with no targets inside. The duelist fires with the auto pistol on the Tyranid leader, making 4 shots at 4 due to the injury. 2 critical hits and 1 normal hit.
No penetration, so save with 3 dice at 4. Just a 6.
Oh, don't worry, I reveal the Takob marked target. Your leader takes no damage, but I gain 1 victory point.
Feeling teased, Kenny whips the duelist again thanks to the Overwatch action. 4 hits at 3. Only 2. Of course.
Sister Benedetta tries to defend herself by hiding behind the wall. 2 dice at 4 plus an automatic 1 for the cover. She's perfectly fine. They are used to being whipped. Just to stay on the subject, Sister Victoria, the Exactor, whips the Penitent to inspire her and increasing her movement by 1 circle and adding 1 APL. Then she joins the fray by charging the first Ormagant she can reach. Once activated the Hospitaller, thanks to the item she has, I roll 1d6, and with 6 she earns 1 APL. Not this time. Sister Diana uses movement and dash and positions herself behind the giant Tyranid tentacle, hidden from the gunner's sight. Sister Nevia, the Penitent, thanks to the bonus granted by the Exactor, charges the Ormagants behind the tower with 10 inches of movement, engaging 2 of them in combat. Then she decides to attack the Tyranid with no wounds, by making 4 attacks at 4. Thanks to her ability Zealous Rage, I can reroll the failed hit. All hit, including 2 criticals. As Nevia begins the fight, she deals 6 wounds with the critical dice to her opponent, plus 4 mortal wounds for the 2 critical hits to both Ormagants around her, killing them mercilessly.
Huh? Why my models keep vanishing like nothing? Are you a magician?
Don't tell heresies. This is the power of the Emperor. With the last remaining action granted by the Exactor, Sister Nevia fires with the auto pistol at the gunner at the window, making 4 shots at 3+. 1 critical hit and 1 normal hit.
Spike defense with 3 dice at 4, one of which saves automatically thanks to the cover. Just 1. With 2 save dice, I defend the crit. 12 wounds left. Well, it's clear how strong the new Sister list is against the Tyranid Compendium list. Simone is practically playing alone. Luckily, in this mission, the kills are worth little, and I still have 2 warriors alive. In the next round, I might be able to control the building in Simone's drop zone, and if that happens, I could earn enough victory points to secure the victory.
It's amazing how strong the Novitiate Penitent is in combat. She really is a must to put on the list. Combined with Exactor's ability, she can become an unstoppable war machine. In this round, I gain another 2 victory points, reaching 4, 1 point more than Andrea. My biggest problem is that the warrior gunner is keeping my sisters blocked, and I absolutely need to move them from there to conquer the other buildings. I need to take him out before it's too late.
Rolling for initiative.
I guess this time the initiative is mine.
Yep, all yours.
In the strategy phase, I use again the strategic ploy Eyes of the Emperor for 1 command point, to remove the special range rule from auto pistols and plasma pistols. Then I use the strategic ploy Sanctified Rounds to boost the damage of the auto pistols.
I use the strategic ploy Lurk, which allows me to save an additional dice due to the cover, granting me 2 automatic defenses.
At the beginning of the activation of the duelist, I use 2 fate points for Blast Rejuvenation, which allows the sister to recover 1d3 wounds. Nice! 2 wounds recovered! Benedetta returns to 5 wounds. Reinvigorated by the miracle, the duelist shoots the Tyranid leader with 4 shots at 3+. I use 1 fate point to reroll a dice. All hit!
My leader isn't in cover, so I have to roll 3 dice to save him. Wow, all saved.
With the last shot left, the Tyrannid does not suffer any wounds, but thanks to my secondary objective, I gain another victory point. With the second action, Benedetta decides to charge the Ormagant behind the tentacles.
Ken is very confused. He got hit a couple of times, but he didn't take any wounds. Maybe you should stop using nerf weapons, Simone. Anyway, without thinking too much, he charges both nuns on the first floor of the building. As a second action, Kenny chooses to fight the sister with the stake thrower, unleashing 5 attacks at 2 on her. Having the rule Lethal 5, and thanks to the Toxin Sacs that changes a failed hit into success if he hits a critical, all dice hits.
Tyrannid Sweep steals 1 attack from my sister, but thanks to the support of the Reliquarius, Arianna can respond with 2 attacks on 2+ instead of 3+. Hit both!
Having charged, Kenny begins the fight by parrying an attack from the nun.
Arianna has no chance to survive, so she chooses to deal damage with the first attack.
With the remaining 4, Kenny eats the nun whole and recovers D3 wounds. 3. Like new.
I'm sorry to have to remove the Condemnor, she had done great things so far. Nevia spots an Ormagant in the building's window and charges him. The Penitent begins the fight, making 4 attacks at 4, making 2 critical hits. Then she deals 6 wounds from a critical and 4 additional mortal wounds before the Ormagant can even realize what happened.
And once again, you one-shot at the Ormagant. Next one please. Roadrunner tries to take down the sister in front of him with 4 attacks at 4 just to run away. I need some 6s, so I reroll all the dice. Well, 2 crits.
Victoria responds with 5 attacks at 3+. I have 2 critical hits too, but I also have 2 normal hits.
Of course you rolled crits too. Roadrunner makes the first move and hits with one of the criticals.
Victoria uses a critical to parry the Tyrannid's last attack and deals damage with the remaining dice. 7 wounds, just what I needed.
Too bad. Unfortunately you weren't fighting a coyote.
Having survived the fight, Victoria is left with only 2 wounds.
Given the situation, Jerry does the mission action and then lies down on the floor waiting for his next activation. Another victory point for me.
Victoria feels her energy reinvigorate as I activate Blessed Rejuvenation for 2 fate points. She gains 1d3 wounds. 2 wounds recovered and Victoria returns to 4, removing the injury. Now the Exactor can move 3 circles, and also using the dash, she manages to get to the other quarter of the table and hit them from the gunner's view.
Tweety tries to take out the duelist, making 4 attacks at 4. I need a critical, so I reroll every dice. Only 2 hit.
Benedetta responds with 4 attacks at 2. 3 successful attacks.
The Harmagant does damage with the first attack.
The Duelist parries the last attack and deals damage with the remaining dice.
Fortunately, Simone didn't crit in this fight, so Tweety is left with 1 wound and is injured.
Benedetta suffers 3 wounds, remaining with 2. Yelena continues to pray to the Emperor to thank him for his generosity and gains another 2 fate points. Then, once the prayer is over, she decides to carry out the mission action by earning 1 victory point.
Spike, tired of doing nothing, charges the nun on the ground floor. Then, with the second action, he fights, making 4 attacks at 3. Hitting 3 crits thanks to the Lethal 5 weapons rule.
Nevia responds with 4 attacks at 4, hitting only 2.
With the first dice, Spike blocks one of the nun's attacks.
Being unable to parry anything, the Penitent deals damage with the remaining attack.
Then, to avenge the Harmagounts, Spike eliminates badly the Penitent.
Nevia, after having redeemed herself in the eyes of the Emperor, she collapses to the ground with a smile on her face. Sister Agatha, who witnessed the scene, opens fire with her plasma pistol on the gunner, making 4 overcharged shots on 2+. Rerolling 1 thanks to the auto chest here. All hit! With -2 penetration and 15 wounds inflicted, the gunner is definitely dead.
Poor Tyrannids. You're treating them so badly. Shame on you!
Activating the Hospitaller, I roll 1d6 to see if she gets an additional APL. Nope. With movement and dash, Diana goes to position herself in the other quarter of the table, safely in the building. The Dialogus moves to cover. The Reliquarius disengages from combat and moves away from the Tyrannid. I use 2 fate points for Blessed Rejuvenation, making Lena recover 1d3 wounds. 2 additional wounds. The Purgatus moves back to get in sight of the Tyrannid and opens fire on him. I use the tactical ploy Burning Wrath to upgrade the flamethrower. 5 shots at 2. All hit, including 2 criticals, who mark the Tyrannid with 4 Inferno tokens.
Kenny tries to defend with 3 dice. Roll some 6s please. Nope, only 1 dice saved.
Being the end of the turn, I roll a dice for each Inferno token the Tyrannid leader has. For every 4+, he suffers a mortal wound. Okay, wow, 4 additional wounds!
Okay, 18 wounds on the way. These sisters are so weak. At this point, unfortunately, I have nothing more to do. Having only 3 models, 2 of which with 1 wound remaining, we can say that the sisters have won.
This match was incredible. I'm really sorry for what Andrea had to suffer. The difference between the new kill team list and the companion list is immense. There was nothing Andrea could do to resolve the situation I had put him in. In turn 4, I would have eliminated his remaining models and earned all my secondary objective points. With this, the sisters succeed in their mission. After eliminating the scout squad that discovered them, the Sororitas conquered the highest point and could see the Tyranid troops being absorbed by the ships. Clear sign that the Xenos are preparing to leave the planet to head for Hesperia. The sisters must return to the planet quickly to report the coming threat.
Yes, you won this game, but my Tyranids didn't expect to find the sisters unit on the recently conquered planet. They weren't properly prepared. And then, as a dear friend said, "You had the higher ground. I can't wait to find out what the new Tyranid kill team list will be. When I land my creatures on your planet, I will make sure to make all your Sororitas suffer. Like you know, for revenge." And then they say that the Tyranids have no goals but to eat.
At the end of the game, each operative who has been eliminated must take a casualty test to see if he's dead or have suffered battle scars. A d6 is rolled, on a 2+, the test passes. With 1, the operative suffers a battle scar, and with a second one, the operative is dead. The only Sororitas that need to take the test are the Duelist, who died in the 3rd turn that you didn't see, the Penitent and the Condemnor. Luckily, none of them rolled a 1, so they're safe and can be deployed without problems in the next game.
For my Tyranids, on the other hand, it's another story. In this game, all the models died, so each of them will have to take the test. Surprisingly, however, unlike the game, I managed not to roll any 1. Thanks, Dice God. I hope in the next game to be able to play with the new list that will be released. If not, we will see again the Loonigans, hungrier than ever.
Just one thing before the end. You will have the option to decide the name of the Adepta Sororitas kill team. If you want to have the possibility to name it, write your suggestion in the comments. We will choose the names we like the most and we'll do a community poll so that you can choose between them the final name of the kill team. And with this, we conclude. If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in description.
And if you have come this far, write the word faith in the comments to let us know. You are the best. And if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!